Arriving a little bit late, the bomb plant looking to come through.
That's what we're talking about, this B side. Zeus becomes such a vulnerable target. He's there alone. You can get in there, and he's got no damage inflicted, no trade potential. Why not take that? Take that every single day of the week. Zeus, he has these games once every 10 maps or so where he's great, and then most of the time he looks like this, and then it is an exploit. You go towards that, like you have someone like Zipex in there, he can anchor B. He is a support player for them, but he's fantastic. Zeus, you put him up against a couple of players, like he'll likely crumble. And that's exactly what's happened here, unfortunately. It will be 13-13. 5-on-3. And it's getting quite worrying now, as we'll see if Freiburg can take down the remaining players. Ed was low. Freiburg can definitely justify going for it. There were plenty of cash. Flamer will take him down, but Electronic gets dropped. They might have to eco it. They force by here. As Heroic tie things up, this could be the end. They do give 2 weapons saved. They've got about 3 keeper players. They probably will. It's not too bad, actually. They can drop a couple of weapons and have 1 more bite. Who would have thought? The 12-3 half, now 13-13. Bickering starting. The anger ensuing.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, this is where, you know, it all becomes very, very real, right? Like, it's you're all tied up at a scoreline where Na'Vi, you could tell. I mean, they thought this game was done. They thought it was all over and that they'd be able to win this out in the second half. Heroic are making them regret ever thinking that way. Down goes Zeus once again over here towards the B-bomb site. They're going to go charging in, and Modi, 2 kills on the entry, tries to make it 3. He does even more damage down the range. The nade going to come on through, straight through the smoke. Oh, he goes running into Electronic in the smoke at least. Given that 1 kill away at Na'Vi, but already Simple and Flamey, they both just faded away. Looking to try and save, hold on to these weapons into the next round. If they do so, then the buy they have will be very, very strong indeed. But Heroic, they take the lead, Henry.
Yeah, this is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Modi, 2 kills. Gets it done. 12-3 to 14-13. I can't believe I'm saying that. Freiburg again hunting for those kills. He can definitely get away with it. Gives up an AK. That's good news for Simple at least. He'll get that. Yeah, I think overtime is pretty much a lock-in. I'm going to say that, Harry. It's a lock-in. It's happening. And we'll see. Maybe not. I would say I'd be putting money on it going overtime. Na'Vi going to pull this round back.
Is that because of the trend of Pro League? Or
no, that's just my gut feeling. Okay. There's no real science behind that. It just feels like it's going to be happening. It feels like Heroic will get out 1 round, they'll choke a bit, trying to close it out, and Na'Vi will get a couple back in return. Na'Vi with their final timeout of this map. It felt like this one was going to be the disappointing 3rd and final map. We even said that after the first half. We're like, well, not the one we built it to be, but here we are, right at the last few rounds. That's why Counter-Strike can be such a wonderful game. The roller coaster that keeps on spinning around. Hopefully no one's sick this time, but we'll see. Pause comes to an end, and round number 28 comes through. No AWP on the T side, focusing on those rivals. They've got plenty of cash, could have brought the AWP out. Don't feel like they need it. Lots of money for Na'Vi, actually, after all the weapons they've been saving and not force buying around them. Can Heroic find match at series point here? Can't believe it. A team with Freiburg has been in there for about a week. Replacements are plenty. A team that shouldn't even qualify for this event. The only reason they're here is Hellraiser has got visa issues. But still, fighting for a playoff spot. They have the advantage in the 3rd map against Na'Vi.
This is just absolutely unreal. Zeus almost first man to fall once again, gets painted up with a bit of damage there over here towards B. I mean, yeah, just to echo your sentiments, this is unreal from Heroic. It was a 12-3 half. They're playing with a stand-in new man in the roster as well. A team that, you know, if you look at it from a few weeks ago, was just an entirely different roster almost. And now 2 rounds away from securing their spot in the playoffs. Modi and S-Tag leading the charge over here towards B. It's all going to be the ruse once again. It's pull the rotation off. Zeus is the first man to fall. And Electronic and Flamey unmoving from this A-bomb site, but Electronic going to fall at the first hurdle. Croman on the entry, and now it's all onto Flamey and CT to try and pull something back. The nade does do damage, but Croman's got him past it.
Oh my goodness, this is looking so good from Heroic now. 5-on-3, bomb planted, no grenades for the CTs, 5 frags to find. Money is there for them as they can explore the chances of trying to win this round, but it feels like it's done. They're going to have to save now. Simple gets one. Will that give them an opportunity to get it? But no. They have to fight for overtime now. Try and keep the numbers up. 15th round found by Heroic. What an absolute nightmare for Na'Vi. Going into this series, I don't think anyone would have said Heroic even had a chance to win a map. Maybe even win a half, let alone have them on the ropes here in the third and final. 15-13 in their favor. Luckily, 3 weapons are saved. Like I said, overtime very likely at this point. But we'll see. Scoreline overall is 12-1 in favor of Heroic in the second half. Now, how nuts is that?
It is unbelievable. And I think this is one of the advantages of having, you know, Freiburg and Modi with so much experience between them in your roster, is having that, like, kind of that dexterity, that fortitude just to kind of, you know, be resilient in that sense, right? You know, being 12-3 down and be able to have this comeback happen is just absolutely unbelievable. And here we go. It's going to be the fast play in towards A, and actually that change of pace, they're going to come to regret it. Modi, first man to fall. He's been pretty instrumental on the entries for Heroic. Freiburg in the meantime down here towards connector. Edward might miss the timing here over on short. Freiburg's been allowed to slip by, and they've got no idea that he sits here down in connector. Edward just missing the timing on it. Now from this forward position, can Freiburg get anything done?
Modi just trying to make one of those hero plays there. Throw a spanner in the works. Got a good spawn, boys. We need one round. I'll change things up. Didn't work out from Electronic to take that kill. Round 29. Edward. Less than a minute, and he'll hold towards CPL. Player already in the connector. Looks like Na'Vi will be able to keep their head above water and go into round number 30 right now. Or they go towards B, though, that we said. That's where Na'Vi have looked weak. Freiburg makes his way through. Down he goes, though. Electronic with second frag of the round. 40 seconds remaining. That should be it now. Plenty of money to work with on the Heroic side, so we'll go for it, see what's available. If a miracle play is there. S-tag towards the B side, spotted. Gives up their position. The rotations will come through with 20 seconds remaining. Simple gets at least one of these kills. There it is, and Edward will help him out as well. So round number 30 comes in. Looking for overtime. Nobody kicking in this one. There it is. Round 30, 15-14. Na'Vi shut down the assault from Modi at the very start, and the teammates cannot recover.
Well, round number 30, Henry. We've gone the distance here on Mirage. Map number 3 in this best-of-3 series to decide who makes it through and secures that spot in the playoffs. And also plays versus FaZe to try and secure a spot in the semi-finals tomorrow. Now, all out for Flamey this time around, along with Simple. Rifles across the board for Heroic. I mean, they fought so hard to pull this back over on Mirage. It'd be a shame to see it go to OT, but at the same time, for Na'Vi, you want to see that resurgence. You want to see them start to claw their way back into this team. I mean, I thought they had this locked in at one point in time. I didn't think Heroic would do this well up against them. Smokes and flashes barrel on in towards the A-bomb site, but no one from Heroic commits.
Yeah, looks like a bit of a ruse there, and Edward does catch them, boosting it towards the window. Overtime looking guaranteed at this point, I did tell you. And that's going to be guaranteed for Electronic. And there we go. Freiburg can't do anything. And that's exactly what I thought would happen. Like, as soon as they get to that 15th round, they'll try and make those plays to try and win out the game. They'll try to do whatever they can, change things up, and they'll all fall apart. You see that massive sigh of relief there from Electronic as they will high five. I think the manager of Na'Vi just saying, well done, boys. That was almost one of the throws of the tournament so far. But still, everything reset now. We're looking for the 1st to 19. 18-18, we do it over again. We do not switch up things at all in terms of the teams. Na'Vi will stay on the CT side, and they'll take a break now by the looks of things as the headsets come off. Those noise-proof headsets can be a bit uncomfortable with the in-ears underneath. So just a chance to calm down. You still get 2 minutes to work things out. Ready's come through, actually, so we'll be getting into this right away. It's coming up to 9 p.m. here in Dallas. Look, this is a double orb setup. Na'Vi, CT side, and I think it is. We'll have a look. 16k for anyone playing at home. Money not really a factor unless you're playing Dust 2.
Well, we've arrived at overtime, and this is where things kind of start to break down a bit. You know, we always say it gets a bit more run and gun, a bit more sloppy, and this couldn't be more true this round. Freiburg up in the connector early on, almost with the damage onto Edward. He's going to get burned down to 27 HP, counting his lucky stars to be alive. Kroman walking the way of Flamey, but Flamey spots it, tags him up with the first shot, and now has to connect with the USP. He's going to get it done. 4 on 4. And while they had control of connector, they've since given it up. Walked on out into mid. Zeus going to go aggressive down through ramp. Letting them a lot of information, and he could come in late. If Heroic take their time over here in mid, he is going to play into this round. Flamey shuts down another. He's been instrumental with this AWP in the last few rounds for Na'Vi. There's Edward, despite being tagged low, despite being so near death, 1 bullet away, he's been able to do damage, and now this flank from Zeus comes into fruition. Modi has no idea. There it is, there's the kill. It's all onto Nico. 1v4, and Zeus gets the double at the very end. 16-15, Na'Vi going to win out the first round in overtime.
16-15, there it is. They take the lead right back. If you're just joining us, what a map you've missed. It was Na'Vi up 12-3 at half. Heroic battled all the way back to take the lead. They were 15-13 up. Na'Vi got the last 2 rounds, take us to overtime now, back in the lead at 16-15. Double orb setup, shutting down Heroic. It'll be so gutting for them to go out in this sort of fashion after clawing their way back in. Fighting 2 for Nail, but Freiburg towards middle this time. Flashbangs coming through. 4 players towards the B apartment. So they're trying to just do set piece to close one out. Let's try and focus on that B bomb. So we discussed this before. Normally Zeus are alone. Simple's trying to back him up now. And what a great job he's doing. Finds the first frag, takes the aggro away. Flick doesn't connect. Nico takes him down, but Edward's there. Great frag. Surely that's all he gets now. Kroman towards that kitchen. Smokes down. Plant comes in. 3 on 3.
Kroman sitting close over towards the shop. Nico gets burnt down low. There's Flamey to open up once again with his AWP chiming in. Trying to push on out. Kroman, he might be tagged up. He's lying away. Edward going to find him. It all falls on a Freiburg in a 1v2. He's managed 1 kill. And the second on to Flamey. Now it's Freiburg versus Zeus. And Freiburg almost gets it done, but not quite. Defuse going to come on in. Na'Vi move on to a 17th round. And I mean, Zeus, when it matters, he's been stepping up here in OT.
Yeah, last few rounds have been good for him. That one, no different. 1 versus 1. That was actually a 3-on-1 for Freiburg. If you'd have won that, that'd been amazing. Probably lit the fire beneath them to get the next round, but it'll be a disappointing finish to that particular one. 17-15 now. Final chance for Heroic to post a round on their T side. 3-0 would be a bit of a nightmare. Maybe not recoverable. And considering Na'Vi was so poor on their CT side, getting a 2-0 this early on bodes very well indeed for their T side. Like we said, looking for 19 to close out the game. 18 would be the clean sweep for Na'Vi at this point. Molotov's in. Very standard round from Heroic.
Yeah, now Heroic, they've definitely been struggling here in the last few. This time, though, S-Tag, he's found a big entry over here in middle. Edward to try and refrag on this short position. Flamey aggressing down ramp. This is a very, very hard fight to win. Kroman keeping an eye on it, but no, he spots the feet. He's tagged him up and now just backs away. Knows he's done damage. Zeus going to be able to nade out S-Tag as well in the meantime. 2-man advantage gained here for Heroic. They're going to start to divert their attention in towards this B-bomb site. Edward over on short. He has to come in massive here. And he's going to miss that kill onto Nico. He goes down, and suddenly it's Zeus and Flamey left alive. Zeus to try and bide some time inside of this B-bomb site. Modi dropping on down. Zeus just going to miss the timing. In danger of getting caught off guard from short, but... oh, he's very, very fortunate right now to have missed all these angles. So many players all around him. And they've got no idea that Zeus is here, but finally Modi does strike. And it's Flamey. He's been so good, but this time a 1v4 for him is going to be a very, very tall order. A lot to ask of the man, and as he makes his way in, peak from S-Tag is all it takes to get rid of him, but no, it's Modi to find it. 17-16 in favor of Na'Vi at the end of this first half of overtime. As you said, 19 is the magic number. Heroic, they need 3. Na'Vi only need to muster up 2.
There we go. The last round from Heroic. Denies the clean sweep there from Na'Vi. 1 round for series point for them, 2 for the win. We'll get into a simple AWP situation. Got a decent spawn as well. Probably go for this mid pick. Trying to take down S-Tag. He does boost up towards short.
Yeah, he's very proficient at holding on to mid in their CT side originally, but this time he misses the opening shot. Has to just back away. Gonna try go blow for blow with Simple, which is tall order nonetheless. Actually, Edward's been allowed to slip by in a connector. S-Tag not in a position to peek out and do anything about it. Gonna get Molotovs off the angle as well. Croman. Fine flame. The electronic's been boosted into window, and I'm not sure Heroic have any idea that he does reside in this position. Does he check it? No, he does not. Electronic. He's the difference maker in this round. He's the one that could start the whole process for Na'Vi in this second half of OT. How's he going to do this then? He knows where both the players are. Croman comes his way. There we go. Electronic comes pouncing out. Both kills, and that is masterful trigger control from the man.
Yeah, that couldn't really got any better for him. Gets 2 kills, buys his time, and S-Tag can't really do much of this. Don't even push, boys. Let them have kitchen, it's fine. You've still got utility. Smoke off towards kitchen. Window can be open. There's a tight choke point. Nothing can really do with it. Good shot from Simple, and that should be series point now. Great stuff from Electronic. Lovely positioning. Gets behind them. They have no idea. And he makes sure he guarantees both kills. Time to perfection.
Could not have asked for anything better if you are Na'Vi. 18-16, and now they need 1 more round. This game has been truly unbelievable. Na'Vi stand on the finish line. They need only the tiniest push to edge them over and take the win here versus Heroic, securing themselves a spot in the playoffs. You know, considering that it was a comeback from 12-3 down for Heroic, it felt like all the momentum was going their way. It looked like it was going to be their game, and then it's been this resurgence. It's been plays like this from Electronic that have put them in this position now.
4 kills in total for him. Could be the most important round yet. Series point for Na'Vi. 2 in a row for Heroic to get double overtime. All for S-Tag again. Modi will join in as well. Simple waiting for aggression towards Palace. Nothing there. He'll be holding up for now. Nico's in that connect up. S-Tag towards short. Very slow default for the Na'Vi boys. Still all their smokes, their flashbangs. They don't want to make him a single mistake here. Wait for any sort of CT aggression at the start. Flamey holds up. Just trying to feel out the map. Nothing being thrown. No one making a move just yet.
Does throw out this one smoke over at B. He's going to start to aggress forward as well, trying to keep Freiburg and Croman, maybe try and rotate another player around. And actually, S-Tag over on short does mean that right now there is only Modi and Nico inside of this A bomb site to try and hold the fort. Modi opens up with the first onto Electronic. No one there to challenge, no one there to trade. And Nico going to survive that one shot out from Simple. They haven't smoked off Modi. They're giving him a lot of ground, a lot of free reign here in CT. But Edward in with one and the second as well. Big kills to find as now it's S-Tag and Freiburg fighting back. S-Tag going to manage one before Simple shuts him down, and it's Freiburg. 1v3 will be required. He's able to get one. But now he's got Flamey and Simple. The 2 stars for Na'Vi in this matchup to try and contend with it. Simple shuts him down. Na'Vi, they went out the series 2-1. And with it, they've secured their spot in the playoffs.
They certainly have. They do get to the playoffs, but it certainly wasn't their best performance. I guess it doesn't really matter. The job has been done. They are there. Heroic have shown they're going to be competitive in this tournament at least, but still, Na'Vi looking shaky. That's a hollow victory if ever I've seen one. It's a mixed team essentially, and they had you right on the ropes. You didn't really deserve to win that game. So weak in the second half, but they did manage to pull it back. Heroic dropped the ball in the last couple of rounds. Fair play to them. They're still in the tournament, but they would have loved to have had that free pass at this point. Great showing, and I have to say some of the key names like Croman, for example, a player no one was really that familiar with. Great showing in this series. SnD looked good with the ult, maybe not so much in the final map, but Na'Vi will be through to the playoffs. And on that note, Harry, we'll throw it over to the analysts. Over to you, boys.
Thank you so much, Henry and Harry. Yes, the last game of the day done. Heroic done, but certainly not out as the handshakes coming through. And it is interesting that, you know, Henry's making a very clear and obvious point here, and a very kind of reasonable one, which is Na'Vi, yes, congratulations in the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to be happy with that either. I don't think, you know, maybe like a good job, boys, but I think at parts of that it's going to be mostly negative and a lot of criticism towards the team and how they performed.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they got the win. I guess that's what matters the most in the end, but the way they got to it wasn't pretty at all. You know, I think if anything was disappointing. They managed to claw their way back into the game. They defended 2 match points on that last map, really, and it was pretty poor, pretty disappointing, and they would definitely need to be looking back into it if they want to have another deep run here.
Yeah, and it actually looked, on the third map, it looked positive for Na'Vi for the first time in the entire series. You were thinking to yourself, okay, this is Na'Vi, no, this is the one we expected to see, and they were playing well. Pretty much all the players were contributing to the win, and then all of a sudden they just switch off, you know, and Heroic fights the way back into it, and it can happen, especially as Henry said, not against a team like Heroic, which is not an Astralis, which is not one of the better teams out here, you know. If Na'Vi is struggling against a team with essentially 3 stand-ins, then they're going to struggle big time against Astralis and FaZe.
So here is the thing, though. Whilst we are criticizing Na'Vi, perhaps it's misplaced, because the win conditions or the success conditions, whatever you want to call them for Na'Vi, often when I'd ask either of you or Chad in the green room, whoever it is, from the analyst desk, you'd say Simple has to be fragging. If Flamey's there with him and Electronics doing his part, then Na'Vi should be succeeding. Now, that the stats suggest that has been happening, and yet the game is so close. I can't help but feel perhaps we're not giving this heroic mishmash of whatever's going on there.
They definitely played a great game, especially in that second half. The way they were baiting Na'Vi into rotations, right? They were putting a lot of pressure towards Zeus on the B side, and you know, you could see the mind games from Na'Vi. One round they left Zeus by himself. They thought, well, they hit B so many times, surely they're going to go back to A, and Modi was doing a great job of applying pressure and getting those kills. And if he was calling, then there were some great calls where he would put pressure, get a kill, the rest of the team would just explode onto A. One time they would just be behind him, explode onto B. So it was very difficult for Na'Vi to get a read on what Heroic is going to do, and it was pretty impressive. And you just feel a bit disappointed in the way the game ended for them in regulation, because they steered away from it, understandably so. You expect Na'Vi to make the adjustment, but yeah, it was very close in the end.
Very, very close. Actually, I'm very intrigued to know what Na'Vi's experience was. We do have an opportunity to have an interview. Trace has managed to grab Flamey, the top fragger, at least the highest rated player from Na'Vi. Let's go ahead and check in with him.
Alex, I am standing down here with Flamey now. The guy has put many rounds down range, but ultimately, that one was a little scary, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really scary.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this Heroic lineup, right? So overall, they weren't supposed to be here, but then they find themselves fighting for a quarterfinal spot against you guys. Talk to me about how it stacked up.
First of all, they have a new lineup, so we practiced a lot versus them because we thought that they won't attend this event. So we played like 2 or 3 scrims every day, but I think they learned us a lot, so it wasn't a really surprise that they show some good Counter-Strike, but of course we thought that it would be much easier than it was.
Well, practicing against them doesn't help at all. That has to be more detrimental than anything. But of course, putting up numbers on the board, there's no denying that you guys have the firepower. What happened in this best of 3?
First map was Cash. We don't play it at all, and they don't play, so it was like random map for us because we knew that their nuke is very nice, and we beat them online one time on Cash, and we thought that they won't pick it, they will pick train, but they pick cash and won it. So after cash, it was our pick or pass. We started good, but we lost some crucial rounds, and they broke our economy with their forced buys, and we started to lose a lot of rounds, and we managed to lose the half 10-5, but we said to ourselves that we are still here, we need to win, and we did a good comeback on City side, and last map Mirage, we were leading 12-2 on 12-3 on T side. We thought that maybe the game is done, but you never should think like this, so the game wasn't done.
You should never think like this. You know, we got Zeus running around the hallways with an op. You know, I've just seen a couple actual Zeuses come out. And at that point, obviously, this one kind of turned around on its head. You guys find yourselves in this overtime. How do you close it out?
When they took 15 rounds, Zeus said that I won't play B anymore because they just went B every round. He went to A and Simple went to B. Then they just started to go A, but me and Zeus started to kill them, and we managed to took some city rounds, and then T side we did some basic rounds and they worked. And the crucial round was when Electronic went to window and go on B and kill 2 guys in behind.
Doing something strange for a little piece of change, I think, is the way you could look at that, Flamey. Anyway, I'd ask you to hit me with a yeehaw, but I don't know that that's necessarily either of our strong suits. Either way, Alex Machine Richardson, please guide us home.
I think I will, because the Flamey looked terrified when he even said the word yeehaw. But fortunately, that's all done and dusted.
Maybe he lose his citizenship or something if he does it.
Yeah.
But people talk about LeBron's memory. What about Flamey's memory? You know, remembers all the way back to the first
crazy.
map, then, you know, the rounds on Mirage,
That's on the
come back
UK.
on overpass on the CT side. Zeus decided to not go B anymore because he was getting destroyed. So come to Flamey. Flamey will help you out.
Fantastic.
Yeah, cool story, bro.
Well, I've got a cool story for you. The brackets. It's actually quite a turbulent story. It's one with plenty of twists and turns, at least if you break down those series. But if we bring up the brackets, you can see how things went down. Now, of course, Sharks Esports. Oh, that's a lot of S's. Sharks Esports. I'm not okay with that. Okay, let's forget about them. But either way, the Brazilians did struggle in their first best of 1, thrust into the lower bracket where they met Cloud9, who started once again versus FaZe Clan.
Well, luckily for you, Alex, they're out of the tournament, so you won't have to talk about them much anymore. Same as MVP, they lost energy in that lower bracket. And we can see FaZe Clan and Navi will battle for that semi-final spot. And we have some interesting games in the lower bracket too. Mouse Sports Energy and Heroic Cloud9.
Yeah, that's interesting to me, just seeing that NRG got, you know, put to work from MVP. You said they weren't the same, Jacob. You can see they got really tried and tested by the Koreans.
Which shouldn't be the case for a team like NRG, who finished at the second spot in the NA Pro League. So kind of disappointing to see them not doing better.
Yeah, and on the other side of things, we had Liquid take care of Greyhound Gaming. The Aussie Space Soldiers showed up in much better form than what we saw in Marseille. Astralis took easy work of their Danish comrades in Optic Gaming, and SK finally bouncing back, getting revenge of that best-of-1 loss in Marseille to NIP.
Yeah, and look at this, though, for Optic. They're going to be playing versus the Ninjas in pajamas tomorrow, and Renegades versus Greyhound Gaming. We're going to be seeing a domestic affair, essentially, at least for the majority of the players in the server. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's in the lower bracket as well, so one of those teams is going home. We've just had Sydney. Now we've got Aussies once again battling against one another. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that's all of the games that are coming up tomorrow and the day after. I do want to quickly remind you as well that as we stand here, they are all playing on ESEA servers, and while we're on the topic of ESEA, you too can get involved. Go to play.esea.net. You can get yourself involved, climb the ladder, maybe end up in rank S and pog yourself some free, I was about to say free change. Not really. You have to play a lot of Counter-Strike. It's not free in any way, shape or form, but it is there. esea.net/MDL if you're interested in seeing how the brackets worked out for the Pro League and those teams that are battling to get into the Pro League, and for those that have fallen from grace. The ones that, of course, it's the league just beneath the Pro League, where you can see that talent being nurtured and some big names. Gambit didn't quite manage to make a splash into the Pro League. What happened to Virtus Pro? Are they still doing it?
They're there.
They're there.
They didn't qualify for Pro League. They
Brutal.
lost. They couldn't qualify for the Global Challenge. They lost out to Spirit, and before that,
oh man,
maybe Alternate or someone.
Let's not talk
How are
about
you doing it? You've got a flamey brain. That's what you've got. It's all in there. It's all in there. Flamey can tell us exactly how many bullets he had in every single round.
That's higher, but all right.
Right, let's go ahead and bring up the schedule for tomorrow. These are the best of threes you get to indulge in across the 2 streams. We talked about Renegades Greyhound. That'll be the first on the secondary stream. They're running 2 parallel here, so you can get all your Counter-Strike action. NIP versus Optic. You get to see Liquid versus Space Soldiers. Could be an interesting one, despite Space Soldiers once again unable to field their full roster. And Astralis SK to end the evening. If I asked you to choose one, Jacob, what would you go for? What's your fave of the spread?
I would definitely go for the Astralis SK one. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup because we're going to see how fast SK are in this whole process of introducing Cold Zero to the in-game leading role, as well as having Stu 2K on the team. Whereas Astralis obviously continuing their great form as recently the best team in the world right now, I'd say. They did lose to FaZe and Sydney, but it's not changing the fact that they're one of the only teams right now actually playing great Counter-Strike.
Aside from that one, Yanko, I mean, is what else kind of leapt off the page to you? I do want to see Optic and see what has happened to this new Danish Optic. I haven't got to see them, of course, on the primary stream.
I agree. That should be a good one, you know, see their cohesion, even though it's early days. And also Liquid, you know, versus Space Soldiers, see what Liquid's been doing. They've missed on IEM Sydney, so got that extra time to practice.
I appreciate you guys giving me all of the analysis and intel. Talking of intel, that's right. Every game is played, every PC here is played and using Intel. So big thank you to one of our sponsors here. It's intel.com/gaming if you want to get any additional info. And with that said, we'll be back tomorrow. Day 1 in the books. ESL Pro League Season 7 finals done and dusted for day 1. Day 2 in Dallas, lots of Ds, and it's going to be damage. We hope to see you then. Den.
Yeehaw!
Welcome back here to the ESL Pro League Finals in Dallas. We are in Poland, Katowice. My name is Hugo, joining me is Snods, and we do have the final best of three of the day here for the B stream. It is another losers match. One team will go home.
And one team will carry on their
on the positive.
hopeful ascent into this tournament. Yeah, of course. Obviously, if you, get the win here, do you play the deciding matchup in a best of one? I'm not sure.
Best of three.
But then why are there two best of ones tomorrow?
I'm wrong, maybe.
Maybe.
We'll go back to you on that. Either way,
there's a lower bracket. There's a low bracket with quarterfinals, its own semi-finals. So, it's got its own nuance, its own ecosystem, essentially, the lower bracket and the B stream, as we are covering the losers matches today, as the main stream has the upper games and the teams that make it straight into the semi-finals.
But we did have some pretty spectacular matches
great games.
already, at least on this previous best of three. I mean, we had a 16-1. That was crazy. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, obviously that Cloud9 Sharks best of three really lived up to the, I say the hype. There wasn't really too much surrounding it. We expected, a 2-0 for Cloud9, maybe double digits on one map from Sharks, maybe getting an 11-16 or, you know, a 13-16, then getting absolutely crushed on the second map. But no, they brought it back and they, you know, showed some, well, they made Cloud9 show some respect.
Yeah, that's good at least. But we do head to a different series now. It is MVP up against that of NRG, a bit of a mixed bag of nationalities. And let's have a look at the veto for this best of 3 series to find out what maps we'll be jumping into. Overpass going straight away for MVP, NRG dropping Inferno. Happy with that so far.
Yeah, I think this is good veto so far. Overpass ban coming out versus NRG. For MVP, it might be their perma ban. NRG are looking for a Mirage here. That would be perfect. A Mirage. Trying to think a Train would be a good map.
Yeah.
Wait, did they ban Train?
They picked Train. They picked.
Oh, sorry.
You can't.
The problem is.
Shall I read them to you?
Yeah. Okay. Let me.
So
just,
MVP have banned Overpass. NRG have banned Inferno. Snods has terrible eyesight.
I've got bad eyes. The monitor's not working.
MVP have picked Cash.
Right,
and then
sense.
NRG have picked Train. So what are we seeing third? Maybe Mirage?
Yeah, sorry, I was so surprised why NRG banned Train as one of their best maps. So, good map pool so far. I think
Mirage's last map.
Yeah, expected. Obviously, the first games here in the tournament from both these teams was Mirage, a 16-6 loss versus Heroic for NRG, and then a 16-7 loss versus Na'Vi on Mirage as well for MVP. So both teams actually struggling on Mirage. That's the final map. And yeah, Cash, Train, Mirage. I think this is a good map veto for NRG especially.
Oh, I mean, I think this is a good series for NRG especially. I think they're definitely coming into this one expected victors. But that being said, they did look very weak earlier. They got 16-6 by Heroic's new roster without their, you know, IGL, and with Freiburg being added in, who dropped 13 kills. So, I mean, you know, just looking at that off the bat, that's kind of a bit of a question mark. Whereas MVP were able to put up a fight up against Na'Vi to some extent, not a close game.
7 rounds. They won the pistol as well. Remember,
yeah,
so.
actually, good point. But Na'Vi have been looking very good, and they did have a very strong game. One thing I was going to mention as well, which was kind of funny, was we've not, in these best of threes especially, we've not seen anyone insta-ban Dust 2. We've also not seen it picked. It always comes in as like that last ban. I'm waiting for a team to just go, screw it, let's leave it in for the joke. Like, let's see what happens.
I think Mouse Sports might be that team.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking Hellraisers coming into this event would want to play it, but now they're not here.
Oh, so play it. I thought you said ban it.
No, play it. I think Hellraisers would be a really good Mirage. Can you imagine? Not Mirage, Dust 2 team. Can you imagine like Issa locking down B, like Woxic AWPing middle, you're bonding up on short? I can just imagine that team would be really fun. Either way. What you don't see the same?
I don't know. There's actually a lot more.
A lot of AWPing power on that team. Though.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of method behind the madness on Dust 2. Watching back Astralis's, you know, dissection of Mouse Sports on Dust 2.
Yeah.
When you look at those two rosters on paper, Mouse Sports versus Astralis, you're thinking, okay, the skill, one could argue, is favoured slightly to Mouse Sports on the day. If Rups is firing on all cylinders, you know, Sunny's having a great game, Oscar especially. Yeah. But they got 16-3. And they got 16-3 because they got out-rotated, simply outplayed by Astralis' team play. And I thought the new Dust 2 is going to be surprising a lot of people, but actually its actual playstyle.
Well, yeah, it's a map that we haven't seen for a couple of years, or at least a year now. So it's you know, while obviously I say, oh, like this team could be good because they're individually good, of course that doesn't mean they're going to be good at the map. They've got to, I'm just thinking, like, if any team was going to be cracking it, I would think that Hellraisers would be like a really good team to go take that map. They have the skill set to apply to the map. I'm not saying that they've done it and they've practiced it, but I hope that is a team that has practiced it, that has put time into it. But I'm waiting. At some point this event, it has to come out. There's no way we're going to go the whole like 7-day LAN with no Dust.
I think Astralis versus...
But after we've seen Astralis play it, who wants to touch Astralis on that map? Unless they instant pick it. That's the only way I think we're going to see it. We have to see it as a first pick.
Maybe, yeah, definitely. And it could be a work of art in terms of the map veto, trying to see if they can exploit advantages maybe versus... I'm not even sure. Because
now,
SK?
Yeah, right. Now you think of a team that has like a 6 map pool, and Cobble was already like one of their better maps, right? I mean, Heroic is a great example. Like Heroic have a 6 map pool with a really good Cobble, right? They don't touch Cash. They love Cobble. Remove Cobble. Now Cash is still their instant ban. They can't insta-ban Dust 2. They should not be they suck at Cash. They should not be insta-banning Dust 2. So then that gives a huge opportunity to a team to pick it up against Heroic. But it's all the risk of like these teams having not put the time into it. We have some teams like maybe, you know, Astralis will have put some time into it, but
well, they've shown that.
Oh, well, obviously they have, yeah. But some other teams I don't think are going to be as confident coming into this. But I'm sure it will come up eventually.
Well, obviously the discussion of Dust 2 is one that hopefully we get, you know, answered later on into the tournament, into the bracket play, once the, you know, best of threes on the stage get, you know, underway, because in those high-pressure situations, if you pull out a Dust 2 out of nowhere, that could be the real power behind it, trying to see if you can catch your opponents off guard and have them unsettled and, you know, not their comfort zone on stage. That could be something, but, you know, maybe we're overthinking it. Maybe we have to wait a few more weeks. Maybe we have to wait for a player break or something where we have a week, 2 weeks off because the schedule right now is just so tight.
Oh, yeah.
It's so packed. You've got events back to back to back to back. I remember Nafly tweeting out yourself as well, away for 5 weeks. There's just no time to dissect that map unless you go on your laptops, you go over smokes, but even then you can't scrim it, you can't bracket, and you can't, you know, undergo your strategies in an actual environment.
Yeah, we literally have like 2 back-to-back top-tier lands with like a week in the middle, not even. Like we have this, we have Tour obviously kind of overlapping, we have Star Series next week, we have DreamHack Summer next month, there's so many events. So yeah, we're gonna have an interesting few, like at least next month and a half, I think.
Yeah, the only thing that's in the favour of Dust 2 coming out is the fact that players now have the practice rooms in the hotel, so they can scrim, you know.
Yeah, prac rooms are really nice in Dallas actually, in their hotel.
We wouldn't know.
No.
But it looked good though. It looked good from the pictures. But yeah, no, having the prac rooms there in the hotels means these players can actually scrim between tournaments, so that could be a reason to see Dust 2 coming back. But we'll see. I think it needs more time.
And with the length of this event as well, that means they get a long time to use those prac rooms, right? This is quite a few days, so they're going to have a good opportunity to scrim against local NA teams as well. We're looking at, like, you know, European teams coming into NA, and of course, you know, you kind of make the argument usually the opposite, or NA teams want to come to Europe and boot camp there, but you know, it just means that European teams can come to NA and play different opposition that they don't usually play on a regular basis in terms of scrimming and stuff. So, yeah, I'm sure we're going to see some Dust to this event, that conversation finishing up. But let's jump into the matchup we actually have ahead of us. It is NRG versus MVP. We're jumping straight into this one as well. We're going straight into Cash, the first map here of this best of 3. MVP's pick, their chance to show what they're made of.
Predictions, Hugo?
I think NRG. I think
NRG 2-0.
I want to go in NRG 2-0, but I feel like MVP could take Cash. But no, NRG 2-0. We'll see what happens though.
Do you see the look? Oh,
I think NRG win the series, whatever happens. I don't see them losing Mirage at all.
I see it being a 2-0 potentially.
Yeah.
Obviously, the ultimate star of the show in this whole server right now is Cirque.
Yeah.
Many rumors about which team he may be going to during the roster changes. Many eyes on him currently because he has untapped, untamed potential to be top 20 player within the world, most definitely with the individual talent that this player has. And how long ago was he picked up by NRG? 8 months ago, 10 months ago, and he's already shown to be an absolute world star.
Flash out of the squeaky door and dap straight into the site. We have MVP with a very passive setup here. Solo giving away the bomb site, but he's got the information to play with. And with a 5-on-5 retake now for MVP with the kit intact. They have the weaponry to do it, and they're all coming up from car group. These can always be really hard to shut down if you are NRG, because with the amount of trade potential that MVP have from these positions, it can be quite useful. Great shot from Zion, who had a pretty weak game earlier versus Na'Vi. Good to see him start things off, and Daps can't afford to go down here. Zeph's got him locked into the site. Fugly dead. Daps tries to trade, but HSK another shot in, and MVP are just running wild over the bomb site. Not a single death, and this is what I talked about. Trade potential is so good, they don't even need trade snods. They just take every kill.
Finds a lot of hits though. 3 frags there, showing off the firepower that Ethan actually has. Over the past 3 months after joining the NRG roster, he's been a star player emerging out of the North American scene. Obviously, backed up by Coach Jimmy, tactician. Unable to receive his visa to move into America, come into these sorts of tournaments like Dallas, really be fully, integrated and emerged into the team. And having your visa, decline can ostracize you from your team. Not being able to see each other in person, be in the same time zones. How long can someone really do 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. sort of work schedule for the rest of their life, if you see what I mean? Very taxing on oneself. But interesting to see how that chapter does unfold from LRG in terms of the coaching situation. But anyway, enough of the speculation. More into the known facts. Deagle in the hands of Ethan. Boosted up here towards middle, trying to see if he can connect a headshot and find a frag for NRG to capitalize off of and try and see if they can get the bomb planted towards A. But so far, stalemate across the board. Passive play from MVP as they're hoping that NRG walk into the crosshairs.
Yeah, flashbang going through. Maybe Zion gets blinded, but he's ready for that. Actually turns around as his teammate's flash comes in, so good timing there. Very lucky. Zion's going to be able to get all three from the top, and maybe a fourth. Ethan will shut him down, but it's a small consolation. MVP with a pretty clean second round, only one death. Solo avoids the molly. Now we have NRG coming in with the buy. That bomb plant in the pistol round has given them a bit more money to play with. So rifles across the board and a slight utility, at least on 3 players. 2 flashes across both Daps and Breeze. So not the best money, but enough to get at least a round on the board, especially when MVP is still running a couple of SMGs into their buy round and no AWP yet seen from either side.
Round number 3, first buy round of this final best of 3 of the night. As BOZE trying to kick things off with the spawn towards B main. Connects their headshot already as we see the 5 versus 4 advantage for NRG off the back of the spawn play from NRG. And now they can slow the pace of the round down. They've got Daps in towards door. He can smoke out towards highway, try find a kill on towards the A site, or just stay alive and put map pressure onto MVP. You can see they're heavily stacked towards B right now. If they can take control towards middle here as well, Hugo, this is a very easy highway split towards the A site. And you can already see Glow starting to taper off towards the B site, towards A, as the paranoia starts to settle in now from MVP. The power of 1 frag entry.
A minute on the clock, so still plenty of time to commit towards a site. Molly over towards the sandbags here. Solo still boosted up in the vent, so this could be a dangerous position to watch out for. Giving up B completely here. Sir, not going to be ready for that corner position. Solo going to fall back as well after the pick. So does get away with a kill, but the issue is he doesn't get to upgrade to the AK. So still pretty limited down on this B site. However, a 4v4 after losing that man advantage, MVP are going to be happy with that. NRG won't be committing towards B though, which would have been definitely the better choice to make here. But without the information, they look to split highway. Try and take control towards the A side of the map where 3 players sit. 25 seconds left. They are simply running out of time. They've got to move fast. Ethan already rounding the corner. Zion not going to be ready for that, but Zeph has the cross covered. Only for 1. More entries coming in here for the T side. In 15 seconds, this plant needs to come in, but Glow's not giving them the opportunity. Pistol out, wasting time and delaying this round. It's only Daps left up, and surely this is impossible. There's no way. And Solo's going to shut it down from the car, so MVP keep things going. 3-0.
It was all looking so good for NRG. They gain the first kill towards the B site. They slow the pace of the round down as they should. They don't walk into the 3-man stack from MVP towards the B site. Taking mid control, trying to come up through highway. But from behind, Glow with that MP9 just eviscerating all the players from NRG on towards A, catching them from behind as well. He then had to play a car, rotates into the perfect time that has catch NRG from 3 different positions at once. Default A site, car, and highway. NRG just weren't ready for it. Now they're back onto the pistols here. Just going to be BOZE on to the Deagle Kevlar. Apart from that, no armor invested into any of the remaining players from NRG. Just going to be Deagles and a Glock across the board. Daps wielding the only piece of utility, that being the flashbang, so they can flash out towards middle. Blind Solo and try and see if they can get the frag highway and do something with it. But so far, it's looking good here from the cash pick from MVP.
Indeed it is. Again, a strong map for this Korean team. Definitely why I questioned the 2-0 here. I'm still going to stick with it, but I feel like if there's any map MVP could take, it would be this first. Ethan close in middle, looking to trade that kill from Daps, or at least onto Daps, and he does do exactly that. AK dropped, but he can't retrieve it, doesn't want a wide peek, and leave himself open to a man on the site. Glow being that exact man. Zion still boosted up as well. Another rotation coming in through from NRG. They look back towards this B-bomb site with only 1 man actually committed to it. We have HSK kind of hidden at the back of the checkers. And no, not even a B play. NRG again giving up on that decision, going back towards A. But in a 4-on-4, MVP is split pretty standard here. So it's not like NRG are going to be walking into a stack. Great nade. It's not only going to kill Ethan, but also do a lot of damage to Fugly. As Circle looks to walk out of main, this boost again coming through for MVP, and again having a lot of impact. Traded back at least from Fugly, so a 2-on-3 in play, but the time is just so low for NRG. They're going to have such a struggle actually getting anything done, and Zion will clean up with 3. So, pretty standard 4th round on the board for MVP. They take a couple of casualties, but here's where the buy comes through once again for the T's.
Second chance for NRG then to get around on the board into this one. MVP. The South Koreans with a strong lead so far, 4-0. But it was, predicated from the pistol round victory, the first buy round win as well. So, what can NRG do here with a second chance? No AWP bought out for Cirque as of yet, and Cirque's AWP is a massive chess piece within this game from NRG, where they use it to gain advantages in terms of picks. He's a very versatile AWPer. He has some of the best movement I've seen from an AWPer in a very, very long time. Not in terms of positioning, but able to work picks into awkward scenarios you wouldn't really see an AWPer take. Mboze, again, first frag here towards B. Boost comes in towards Vent as well, but there's no players towards Highway or close mid that they can really find, as they slow the pace of the round down once again. Last time they took too long to pounce on the site. Will they make that same mistake again?
Doesn't look like they want to. The bomb's still held outside of B as NRG kind of settle back. They know in this kind of position, MVP are going to do their best to at least try and trade things back, try and pull a kill their way. So MVP don't want to essentially commit instantly. They want to see if MVP give them another opportunity to grab a kill. There it is. Molotov's on the site, forces HSK into the open. Daps finds another frag, and now we have NRG in a great spot. 5 on 3. Bomb can make its way to default as well. The plant can come through.